Well. This is your man.
Ishi Hakase.
Today we're going to do something a little different, and that is I am going to take a short break. And I always tell my friends and my colleagues, if you get stumped or you hit a wall, you're working on a problem that you just can't solve, give it some distance. Take a break. Breaks refresh your brain. They help you see situations in a new way. And remember when you decided that you were going to start running and you were going to get in shape and you'd start going on your course and then you would stop midway? Well, that is simply your body telling you that you need to take a break before you hurt yourself. So it's the same thing with your mind or your mental well-being. Breaks actually help keep us focused. It keeps our eyes on our goals. And there's lots and lots of research that show that there's numerous benefits to having a little bit of downtime. Now, of course, everybody knows that breaks, they can be fun, they can be relaxing, they might be conversational, they could be entertaining. Whatever your situation is, I want to encourage you to consider how you take breaks and how these things fit into your work preferences, any job rules you might have, how it deals with your energy level, how it helps you set priorities and goals, and really it should be part of your overall values. Now, I know that there's people out here and they call themselves a workaholic, and that's fine, but let me tell you, it is not sustainable unless you're out there taking breaks. So, get into some good habits. Frankly speaking, I think everybody should prioritize breaks throughout the day. Look at our friends in one part of the world that always take siesta. I'm all for that. And let's not forget about our friends that smoke. They are always taking breaks. Now, I'm not advocating that you run out and you pick up a smoking or vaping habit, but they make breaks a daily part of their routine. So a couple of breaks that I want you to all think about moving forward. The first is make sure you're taking movement breaks, physical breaks. These are essential to our physical health and our emotional health. And there's benefits for us just to keep moving. As an aside, I want you to check out one of my friends, Keep Moving 50 on YouTube. KM50, Keep Moving 50. He's got tons of videos out there that'll help you push past that sedentary lifestyle and get you moving and get you feeling good. Because we spend far too much time at our desks or in front of the television or sitting in lecture halls. And it really does put us at a higher risk of heart disease and diabetes and depression and obesity. So get up. Get out of that chair, walk around, stretch, do yoga, whatever you prefer. It really will help. One of the things that I used to do is I would have meetings and they would be walking meetings. And we'd go through a walking path. And then when we finish that path, meeting adjourned. So give it a try. Another thing about movement breaks is also to get you to stop doing certain movements, like working on the pad or your phone or using a mouse and a keyboard. These things are a quick path to repetitive stress injury. So it's good that you step away from those activities. Stop moving in those motions. That's going to help your physical and mental well-being as well. Another break that you want to consider is what I would describe as decision fatigue. All right, so when we have to make lots and lots of decisions throughout our day, and most of us do, this actually will wear down our willpower and our reasoning ability. So decision fatigue can lead to you maybe oversimplifying critical decisions or perhaps procrastinating on critical decisions. So if you're in one of these positions where you have to do a lot of decision making, you need to make sure that you take breaks so you're fresh and you're alert. And breaks also restore our sense of motivation. All right, so there have been a couple of studies, one that I looked at recently that talked about when we're working, our prefrontal cortex makes every effort to help us execute our goals. That's good. But for a challenging task that requires our sustained attention, the research shows briefly that taking our minds off the goal can renew and strengthen our motivation later on to then attack the goal. So breaks at a regular interval is actually a healthy thing for you in that process. There was also a small study that summarized that prolonged attention to a single task actually hinders performance. And I describe that to the people that I work with as grinding at your problems. Like, I'm going to stick to it and stick to it and stick to it, and then nothing comes, and then you hit this law of diminishing returns, and you're not very productive. So don't grind at the problem. Take a break, deactivate from it. That'll again help you focus or refocus on your goals. Another thing you should do, obviously, around taking breaks is it will increase your productivity and your creativity. So when you're working for long stretches without breaks, this leads to stress and exhaustion. So taking breaks refreshes the mind, replenishes your mental resources, and that will help you become more creative. So if you are in one of these fields, once again, you have to take a break and make this a regular part of your day-to-day. Then there's what scientists refer to as waking rest. All right, and so we know that there's a certain purpose to sleep. And what sleep does, in part, is it helps us consolidate our memories. All right, but when we are not well rested, it's really hard to sort of reform those memories to actually use them in some productive manner. All right, so what rest will do, what breaks will do, is it sort of replenishes the brain and allows you to draw on those things that we've stored up. You know, these resources and references and sounds and all of these things that, once again, we can use in some kind of creative endeavor. So that will help you and will also help you maintain a good sense of self. Keep in mind that mental fatigue affects our ability to make ethical decisions as well, because we're tired and we start losing sight of who we are and what we value because we're trying to get through the process very quickly. So avoid that. So with that said, if you don't have a happy place, and I know it sounds corny, but you should find one. And this is where you visualize a place or an experience that gives you a calming effect, a sense of peace and restfulness. I have lots of happy places and I go to them in lots and lots of staff meetings. So there are times when it doesn't really make sense to take a break. We have to look at the other side. And that is if you're ever in a situation where you're in the zone, all right, or if you're in a real state of flow. And, you know, flow is sort of characterized as this sort of losing track of time, being so immersed in a task that it actually becomes effortless. That's the moment where you want to just sort of push through and maximize that experience if you ever get into flow or if you ever get into the zone. So if you're working and you're having fun, at that point, keep going. Because when you're having fun, you won't mind the rigor that you have to deal with. All right, so once again, your man,
Ishi Hakase.
I'm going to take a short break. I hope that you all will do the same. You make that a part of your daily routine. I'm sure it will help you. And for me now, I guess